Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. My name is Ash and I'm here with another review roundup video. In these review roundups I cover 4 different games I've been playing recently across a variety of genres and platforms. So I'm going to jump straight into the first game, which is Metro Simulator 2 on Xbox. Now this released on the 24th of the 4th, 2024. That's a lot of 2s and 4s, isn't it? It's developed by Kishmish Games, and it's published by Ultimate Games, who are kind of sending me a copy for review. And if you haven't guessed it yet, this is a underground sort of metro simulation style game set in like Russia. So this takes place on the Moscow metro line, featuring 24 different stations, like the tunnels between them and stuff like that. And basically gives you a pretty accurate representation of like Russia's like capital subway. Now, obviously, these subways were built back in like the past, so they represent various time periods and like how they look and develop and stuff like that, which I thought was really cool because they're like proper old school, like that retro sort of design that you don't get in like modern subways anymore. Do you know, like the London Underground has that old school like World War II esque vibe to it. These like Metro Undergrounds have that as well. Now, there's 2 different trains you get to drive around. Each of them have their own unique controls, and they're fully modelled and everything. So are their cabs and stuff like that. You can see inside them, touch all the buttons and everything like that. There's 2 different game modes to this game. There's like a free mode game where you can drive around to your heart's content. You pick where you want to start, basically, either a dead end or at a station, and you can just drive around without passengers on and stuff like that. Or there's scenarios where you have to basically do missions. Now, this game isn't bad. Like, I like the setting. I like the Metro over all the sort of sim games I've played. I like the like Soviet sort of looking designs and stuff like that. That's cool. It's just rather complicated and it doesn't give you enough instructions, I feel. So while it could be great, it's not bad. It just takes a lot of hard work to get into it. The challenges can be rather tricky as well. But for a metro simulator, it's not bad at all. Like I say, at least it has the multiple modes. So if you're not enjoying the challenges, you can at least play it freely. Now it's 1674 on Xbox, so it's not a full price game either, which is pretty good. It's playable on Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S consoles. It's also available on other platforms as well. And yeah, it shows promise. It's interesting if you're into trains, like and underground trains, and if you're into simulation games. But I feel like the tutorial could be so much better. I don't think it gives you enough instruction, and it kind of leaves you a little bit lost, unfortunately. But other than that, the core simulation side of it isn't too bad. Okay, next up is Hand in Hand on Xbox. This released on the 24th of the 5th, 2024, developed by Max Media and published by Over Games. And this is an interesting little puzzle platforming game where you basically follow these 2 characters. They are lovers and they are split up and they're trying to find their way back to each other. Now, this kind of feels like a 2D version of Brothers. Do you know where with Brothers, if you played it single player, you each controlled like you controlled each of the characters on one side of the pad each. Whereas with this game, it's like top and bottom. One of them's on the top, one of them's on the bottom at times, or they're both on the same screen. And you can play this solo, or you can play it co-op. But if you play it solo, you have to control both of them. It kind of gives me that sort of vibe of it, where you have to use both characters to progress with the puzzles. Now, it's very atmospheric. The story is fantastic. It has a great soundtrack. I mean, the soundtrack is really, really good. The animations and the art aren't bad. I mean, the animations are a little iffy at times, but overall, the sort of presentation is fantastic. Now, puzzle wise, it's not super challenging. It's more the platforming sections that are a challenge, avoiding traps, enemies, and stuff like that. Um, the male character is the one that can defeat the enemies, whereas the female, like his partner, cannot, which is cool. But honestly, I do like these sort of games where you have to have two characters work together to sort of complete puzzles and stuff like that. And the fact that it's good in co-op, but it can also be played single player is really nice. It's a lovely, charming game. This now it's playable on Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S consoles. It's also available on Steam and other platforms. And on Xbox, it's priced at $9.99. And honestly, this is really good. I do like the sort of atmospheric platformers. The like enemies and the environments are all really unique and they stand out. It's done really really well. And playing it solo isn't a super chore. It's more difficult than playing it with a friend, but it's never horrible and it's never like frustratingly bad. Now it's not the longest of games. You can get through it in under 4 hours, but like I say, it's priced at under £10, and at that you can't go wrong. Okay, next up is El Dorado, the Golden City Builder on Steam. Now, this released on the 17th of June 2024, and I was looking to present a copy for this game as well. Now, it's $14.99 normally on Steam. Currently got a 15% introductory offer that ends on the 1st of July, so you can pick it up for $12.74. And if you haven't figured this out yet, you are basically city building El Dorado. And do you know what? I love Aztec stuff. I love the like myth of El Dorado, the Golden City, and stuff like that. And this city builder like does show promise at times, but at other times it can be frustrating. So in this game, your aim is to build up your empire, your city. You start off with a small settlement and you'll grow it, grow it, grow it, basically make it bigger, bigger, temples, more gold and stuff like that. But you have to appease the gods. And obviously, the Mayan gods have different gods throughout the year. So it's like a time limit into how you will shape your city. You have to make sure you've got the right temple for the right gods and stuff at the right time. Failing to do that could see you suffer the wrath of the gods in many, many, many ways, which that is the fun bit. So it's like any other city builder, you'll gather resources, you'll sort of manage your empire, your buildings and stuff like that, make sure you've got everything that your people need. You'll then also have to like make sacrifices to the gods and stuff like that. You'll have to have the right temples. You can then also like overthrow other cities and stuff like that. So it's not just about your city, it does have other things to do as well. You can organize like your military and stuff, which I thought was pretty cool. Now, it's not perfect. It does have a story mode, but there's not a whole lot of story to it, to the campaign. It, but at least it's there. Do you know what I mean? At least it has something for you to play through. I just thought there could have been a bit more story and depth to the campaign. Now, overall, it does look pretty nice. I like the detail of the buildings, everything. I like the setting. It's not perfect. By far, but it's a nice, unique sort of take on it. I'd love to see expanded on and stuff like that. So it's one of those sort of city builders that's similar to Anno. And if you've ever played Anno, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's very sort of like chain management, like production chain management, managing all the little bits and bobs and stuff like that. You don't have a whole host to get into, like nitty gritty, which is nice. I hate like city sims where you have to do like down to the minute details and everything. But overall, like I say, having the god worshipping stuff and having to like appease them is always good. Okay, last up is a lesson learned on Xbox. Now, this released on the 29th of the 5th, 2024, from Gaming Factory, who were kind of sent me a copy for this review. And I recently covered the sort of free prologue to this game, and this is more of the same now the full game's out. So this is a tower defense game in which you will command minions to help you gather resources to build towers, all wrapped in a sort of creepy aesthetic that kind of reminds me of like the old Tim Burton drawings he used to do, and the game Don't Starve. Now, the game's quite fun. As you progress through it, it'll introduce more and more towers to the game. So you'll slowly but surely have more things to use and figure out how to build and stuff like that. There's a cool variety of enemies and stuff like that as well. And I do like the minions option to have them sort of like help you and stuff like that. Or you can play it co-op with one of your friends helping. Now, you can upgrade your towers by getting better resources and stuff like that. The games aren't like set areas, it's like a path, and you have to sort of keep moving along the path to protect something while building towers around it as you go, and enemies will come in waves. Now, this does feel more like a resource management sort of collection game at times than a tower defense game, but all in all, it's not that bad. If you played the demo, like the prologue, you know exactly what you're going to get here. It's the same. It it just sort of more of it in the full game. Now, it's not expensive. It's priced at $8.39 on Xbox. It's playable on Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S consoles. And yeah, it's not bad. I like the graphics style of it and everything like that. I like the weirdness in the enemies. It's just lacking in some things. It's just okay. It's nothing amazing, but it's not terrible. I highly recommend playing it if you like Don't Starve and you like tower defense games. You'll probably get a good kick out of it. Sometimes the minion can be a little bit annoying and not. You'll get them to pick something up and then they won't pick anything else up and they're just stood there and it's like, why are you not doing this? We should be collecting, and then you haven't got enough resources and you're getting absolutely wrecked in a wave, which can be annoying, but it does show promise and it's a cool premise. I like the story and stuff like that, which is cool. Basically going through history, which I thought was funny. But it's at a decent price, so it's not too bad. And yeah, good points, bad points, but definitely better with a friend than playing solo. Now, this has been my review roundup video, guys. Let me know down in the comments below which of the four games you're interested in, which are you not bothered about. Do any stand out to you? Do any of them you want to avoid, shall we say? Or do you own them already? Let me know in the comments what you think of them. And make sure you like, subscribe, and we'll see you soon for more gaming content, guys. Bye for now.